Lake Hopatcong Foundation to make a presentation to us about Team Lake Hopatcong, and we also have Lee Murray who's going to also speak. Welcome, Marty.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. It's great to be here. Thank you. It's good also to be coming back for our annual kind of updates, which we kind of fell out of style with. Tonight with me is Kyle Richter, who's the Executive Director of the Lake Hopatcong Foundation. And Colleen, I know a lot of you do know because she's active with the Land Use Board. Colleen Lyons, who's actually the administrator for the Lake Hopatcong Commission. And you'll be hearing from Lee and Kim a little bit later. And we'll try to keep this quick. I think most of you know what the Lake Hopatcong Foundation does, and believe it or not, it's our 10th anniversary this year. So we've been around bothering you for a while now, and the Lake Hopatcong Commission even longer than us. And you know, our real emphasis over the last few years has been working together collaboratively, both amongst the groups at the lake and with the 4 municipalities. And as a result, you know, we have gotten to work very closely with Mayor Francis, Administrator Tappan, and some of you individually on different projects within town. And that's where we really, the thrust of this is to continue moving forward. That, you know, we do feel that collaboratively we've gotten a lot done, and that's where we want to continue. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Colleen, who's going to kind of give you a little bit about where we are with weeds, which is always a popular or unpopular topic around town, as well as the harmful algal bloom.
So the commission is now transferred employees from DEP back to the commission. The commission is going to be funding and running the weed harvesting program in 2022, and we're preparing for a May start date. And then we're looking at, so the next topic here is the harmful algal bloom efforts. The DEP held their HAB summit, and we heard from people around the country about HABs and where they're occurring. We understand that they're occurring throughout the country, and the commission and foundation and Hopatcong Borough have installed numerous projects that have improved lake conditions since 2019 when we had the lake-wide harmful algal bloom. We have additional projects ongoing, including the Hopatcong aeration system in Crescent Cove, 3 additional aeration systems at swimming beaches that the commission applied for, as well as biochar applications and other projects. The other thing that we have now is treatment options if there is a lake-wide bloom. So, you know, if we do see another harmful algal bloom in 2022, we do have some options for treating that bloom when it occurs, or if it occurs. Okay, turning it over to Marty.
Yeah, advocacy has been one of our really biggest initiatives over the last few years. As you know, it's led to bringing state officials, or really any officials that we can get here, just to see what the resource of Lake Hopatcong is, because we always felt that we can get people here. That's most of the battle. And as a result, we have had to, you know, the governor visit each of the last 3 years. We've gotten a DEP commissioner here a couple of times. And I have to say, Mayor Francis has been very helpful in both of those. You know, whether you support or don't support, you know, the statewide officials, we found it's very important to get him here. And one of our biggest fans, until he was defeated, actually was Senator Sweeney. Once we got him out here on a boat, he could not believe what Lake Hopatcong was, coming from the very southern part of the state. So that's been a big part for us. And one of the ways we've done this is we've had quarterly meetings with all the mayors. The mayors all know each other, but they had never really gotten together on any regular level to talk about Lake Hopatcong. So now at least they get together once a quarter. And what's really important for us is they give us a consensus of what their priorities are for the lake. So we can kind of support that, you know, whether it's through the foundation and our nonprofit or through the commission, which is a semi-governmental part of this. And I guess the biggest thing that has come out of this is last year we were able to get legislation through in Trenton for $10 million for lakes funding. It's kind of hard to believe, but lakes had never been publicly funded before, where there was an actual, you know, a budget line item for lakes. The RFP on that, or the request for proposals, the the grant application process was just announced last week. So we'll be applying for that. It was, I think, important to note that right in what was released for the $10 million, they listed both Greenwood Lake and Lake Hopatcong as they could not receive more than $1 million each. So I think that puts us in very good stead of where we'll be. We'll wind up. There's a lot of good important projects here, and a lot of this money does not come with the normal requirements. For instance, this money could be used for dredging, which normally most of state funds are not allowed to be used for that. So, some really good project, and we're going to continue that. Our goal is that statewide funding for that type of a level for lakes would be an annual thing. We wouldn't have to fight for it each year. So we're hopeful, and Senator Orojo has been tremendously, helpful with this process. And so hopefully, this will become an annual event. The other thing that we've done is the Public Lakes Alliance of New Jersey. Realizing that there's strength in numbers, we've gotten a lot of the other local lakes together with us that are open to the public, whether it's Lake Musconetcong, Swartzwood Lake, for us, Greenwood Lake, or Deal Lake down in Monmouth County. And that's given us just a whole lot of other legislators to support what we want to do, including a lot of legislators that are not Republican, which most of our legislators up here are. So last year when we pushed forward that bill for the $10 million in lakes, it became really a bipartisan piece of legislation, and it really was adopted unanimously in both houses, the Assembly and the Senate. So, that was helpful, and it's a good group, and I think it's a group that will only grow. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to Kyle for a little bit about what we're doing with homeowners.
Thanks, Marty. So at the foundation, we're a community-based nonprofit, so we like to work with the community around the lake. And this year we're focusing on working with the community on stormwater management through some practices they can do at their own home to better manage stormwater, including rain gardens. I know we did a rain garden rebate program last year. We're looking to build off that this year and focus on riparian buffers around the lake, which is just a modified strip at the end of your property right before it would go into the lake as a last-ditch effort to catch some stormwater before it enters the lake. And a lot of people may hear the term riparian buffer, at least in my experience. I think of like trees and forests, but these buffers can really be made of low vegetation and still not block your view of the lake, but still do a great deal to help prevent nutrients from entering the lake by capturing that stormwater. And we're going to be installing a demonstration riparian buffer at the foundation's headquarters in Landing later this year, so it'll be a great opportunity. We're going to be writing educational information to the community on how they can install these at their homes. It'd be great to see them everywhere, not just for the stormwater management, but the next bullet on my list is goose management. So I know there's a large Canada goose problem around the lake, and they are one of the biggest contributors of phosphorus to the lake. Riparian buffers have an added benefit of deterring geese from landing on property, because geese like to feel safe, and they like to feel safe when they can see around them. And when you have a riparian buffer, guess what they can't see? They can't see the lake because they're only like this tall, right? They can't see over it. So they have that added benefit of, preventing geese from landing on your property, and they can go somewhere else. But it really needs to be a coordinated community effort, because if you have a riparian buffer on your property, they're not going to land on your property, but guess where they're going to go? Go to your neighbor's property. So we need to make it a lake-wide initiative. So the commission has started a goose management committee, and the foundation is on that. So we're going to be looking to get information out to the community on riparian buffers and different ways we can do goose management around the lake. So more to that to come. And I think Marty's going to do a little.
Yeah, we had a great meeting today at 10 o'clock. We met over at the Jefferson Municipal Building with representatives from the state police, Morris County Sheriff, and police, all four of the local police departments, just to discuss security issues and safety issues on the lake for the upcoming season. This started just a few years ago, and it's really grown in the collaboration between all the organizations. And there's a lot of really good initiatives. In fact, the state police actually, as some of you know, combined with Hopatcong Police Department last year on a couple of operations within Byram Cove and all, just to try to make it, a safer place. And this year, the Morris County Sheriff Department, for the first time, is going to have 2 boats available on the lake, 22-footers, plus a personal watercraft. They're going to be parked actually over at the Windlass Restaurant, right in front there, and they'll be used Thursdays through Sundays on the lake. So it's an extra degree of of patrol and safety, and they're in the process now of entering into a memorandum of agreement with the Sussex County Sheriff's Office so that they'll be able to patrol all the waters within Hopatcong, and we don't get into that argument of, what side of the lake were they on when a situation develops. So, very positive step there. And with that, back to Kyle.
This is, I think, one of my most favorite things that the foundation does is our education program and educating the young children. We have our field trip program that we run every year out of Hopatcong State Park, which we haven't been able to run for the last 2 years. Very excited to say that this year it is back, and we have over 1,300 students registered to come out to the state park and take rides on our floating classroom and learn a little bit more about lake ecology. And that includes students from Hopatcong and all of the municipalities around the lake and from across the state as well. We actually have a wide reach this year, which is very exciting. But having 1,300 students come out to learn about Lake Hopatcong, you start young with teaching them about why they should care about the lake. You're going to get that next generation that really cares about the lake, which is exciting. And building off of that, we're going to continue our public education cruises, which we did last summer on Mondays in July and August, so that we can expand our education program. So it's not just the young children, but adults and anybody that wants to come out can purchase a seat on the floating classroom and come out on those days to learn a little bit more about lake ecology and how you can help protect New Jersey's largest lake. If you haven't been out on the floating classroom, I suggest you take advantage of this opportunity because it is a great day. We have a couple other community events coming up. We have our native plant sale with online ordering starting April 28th with pickup on May 7th, which ties into those riparian buffers I was talking about because you want them to be made out of native plants, and you can purchase some of those plants at the native plant sale. May 14th is the Hudson Farm Walk, and that is a fundraiser that they do over there, and part of the proceeds from that will benefit the foundation. May 20th.
Actually, all the rest of it is all Hopatcong.
Oh yeah, it is all Hopatcong.
That's a real close
charities,
one to you folks, so that's a really good one.
May 21st is the annual Lake Hopatcong block party. Lee Moreau is going to give a little bit of more information on that, but it is a great day. Everybody should try to attend if they can. Later in the year, we have our annual fundraising gala coming up. That is our 10th year, so it is a special gala anniversary for us. We'll have our lake loop, and we're also working with different groups around the lake to expand trails and recreational opportunities around the lake. We have our Lake Hopatcong Trail, but we're working to extend that and to finally, hopefully, make that full loop around the lake so that people can enjoy everything that this region has to offer. And then historic preservation, the fountain at the state park, the Lake Hopatcong Museum is working. They just submitted a grant application to get the funds necessary addition to the park and continue that historic preservation that the foundation is doing with our building as well. And I'm going to turn it back over to Colleen that will give you a little bit more information on some of the projects we've been doing for water quality.
Okay, so Lake Hopatcong has competed well recently in some of the grant opportunities offered through state and federal funding. So in March 2020, Hopatcong was awarded $500,000 for 6 HAB demonstration projects in Hopatcong. That included the changing of filter material in the aquafilters in Crescent Cove. We used biochar, which seems to be a really good cost-effective alternative to the filter material that was originally in those aquafilter units. And we also installed biochar in the Ingram Cove outfall. In August 2020, the DEP awarded $206,000 for an internal load study and 4 watershed projects, one in each of the municipalities. In Hopatcong, this includes replanting of the wetland basin above Crescent Cove, and we'll begin that in late spring, early summer this year. And we'll coordinate with Hopatcong when that's going to begin. In September of 2021, the Commission Foundation were awarded a National Fish and Wildlife Foundation grant for $480,000 for stream bank stabilization projects throughout the watershed. So that includes 3 stream bank stabilization projects, one in Hopatcong at Witten Park, where we hope to install a stormwater conveyance. That is dependent on DEP approvals, but we're hoping to start that in late spring, early summer. And then in February, we also applied for a second 319 grant that included 2 projects, one in Roxbury, which is a stormwater basin retrofit for 2 stormwater basins that discharge into King Cove, and then also a large-scale rain garden at Lakeside Field in Jefferson. And then just last week, DEP announced the $10 million in statewide funds for public lakes. So we'll be meeting with the mayors at the end of this week to discuss potential projects. So that's all we have. That's all we have.
Yeah, Lee's gonna
That's
say
all
a
we
little
have.
bit about the block party, but
Good evening, everybody. Lee Moreau. So I work on the block party for Marty, and when the block party is over on May 21st, and I know you know what that date is because you drive by that sign every day. So you know where it is, when it is, and what date it is. Then I work for Ken on the Miss Lotta, so I'm going to cover 2 things very quickly. We are thrilled to tell you that both the block party is sold out. 230 booth spaces are sold out, and probably a wait list of 25 more that would like to be in if we had more room. So that tells us that people want to gather, and we have to safely move 2,500 to 4,500 people or more around kind of safely and efficiently, and we couldn't do it without your help. So in addition to having each of the 4 towns very well represented, all the support we get from the shuttle buses, the police, the EMS, make it safe, and for anybody who isn't familiar with the Lake region, they get to see what Marty was talking about, you know, leadership, joining hands for a common purpose, and you're really on display. It's really something. 2 things are new this year for us, and it connects to the public safety aspect of the foundation. And we're going to do a boater safety demonstration up on a boat and use every police department in the region and the local Coast Guard Auxiliary to do instructions for families and young kids, kind of getting that to Christopher Law's. So we're going to do that a couple of times during the day. That'll be the first time, and it's going over very well. It's very well received. Anybody who wears a police uniform has said we're all in, and our challenge is going to be to make it work with so many people interested in and doing their piece for boater safety. So that's pretty cool. Second thing is, and I'm not even sure how it happened, but the New Jersey Division of Motor Vehicles is coming here with their RV on the road to do boat re-registrations only. The Marine Tide Unit will be from Carteret Station to do, if I got it right, license endorsements.
Yeah.
We'll get that word out through the foundation soon, but it's kind of neat that they're coming to us. They're going to be in Hopatcong State Park, and the state police the meeting that Marty alluded to, you know, is interested in finding other locations at the time of the year to bring that van into the community and come where the customers are, because they were either unable to get into motor vehicles or unwilling. So they're trying to collect their money without giving them a summons first. So it's a pretty good initiative, and happy that they'll come to the block party, which they will. And that's really it. So I'm here to say thank you. Everybody who has a hand in that, from recreation to senior services to the mayor, it just couldn't happen. Everybody didn't do what you do, and you do it well. So I want to swap hats now. It's now May 22nd. I'm done with the block party. I want to talk about my favorite cruise, the Salute to the Veterans Cruise. And I've got to say that, Mayor, when you shut down half of River Styx Bridge, you really kicked it up a notch and brought the other communities along with you. So now they do things of a similar nature. And so Marty's not my boss anymore on May 22nd. Kim is. And so Kim's going to talk to you a little bit about this cruise and her new job, or not kind of a new job, what she witnessed last year, and some of the things she's done on her own in her probationary year, right?
Hi, how are you? So this is my second season going in with Miss Lotta. I'm a retired teacher. I retired during COVID, and I was in the right place at the right time, and here I am. But I went on the Veterans Cruise last year. I was aware of it because I live in Mount Arlington, but I'd never experienced it from the boat side. And I was, to say I was taken back is an understatement. It's amazing what happens that day. the tributes that go on the lake. The tribute on River Styx Bridge is unbelievable. I applaud all of you. I challenge you to maybe even make it bigger and better this year. But I noticed last year that 90 minutes per cruise wasn't enough. So we've extended them both to 2 hours. So the first one will go out from 9 to 11, and that's the Jefferson and Hopatcong, and then the Roxbury and Mount Arlington will go out from 12 till 2. Then we've also added, I figured let's make that whole day about our veterans. So that night there's a dinner cruise offered for veterans and, family members at a discounted rate. So they can sign up for that. And I don't know if you can circulate it or anything, but I do have a little flyer that I'm just going to leave a flyer about all of them, the parade, the cruise route, parade route, and the information about the veterans cruise for you. And if you have any veterans asking about the morning cruise, please let them know about the evening cruise, and maybe they can get on there with their family members. But thank you again for all of your support.
We might even ask permission to use the bridge.
Thank you.
Yeah, if there's any questions, we're happy to take them. Otherwise, we'll give you back your meeting, and thank you so much for your time.
That $10 million, you said not more than $1 million for each lake?
They specifically worded it that not more than $1 million could go to the Lake Hopatcong Commission or the Greenwood Lake Commission. So actually, we just had a discussion earlier this week about whether that still left the door open, which it does, for a municipality to also apply for a grant, or for like the Lake Hopatcong Foundation also apply for a grant. But they did limit, which was odd wording, the commission and the of the two lakes up to $1 million, which almost made it sound like they were kind of recognizing the fact that each one would receive $1 million. The way it was worded. So it's very good, because in the world that we're in, $1 million is unbelievably large when it comes to lakes. That money just isn't around. I mean, the entire budget that the Lake Hopatcong Commission receives from the state from boat registration fees is $500,000. So to kind of give you an idea. So that's why these grants are so important, to be able to get anything done. And we really credit you folks for what you've done to bring some extra money in with the aeration of Crescent Cove, which has been an enormously successful project.
Thank you, Marty.